been working with the several students, doctors, nurses, social workers, jail inmates, Anganwadi workers, and counselors during the 3 decades of the social activism. During the general elections of 2004, she fought for the citizens whose names were deleted from the electoral list, which resulted in the first time ever campaign and re-registering of the voters and the public announcement of the registration drives by the State Election Commission. Advocate Kunickaa Sadanand is the governing council member of CHIP, Children's in Pain, and also the managing committee member of CHIP Mumbai, an NGO working for the underprivileged children. She launched the Tara Charitable Trust, which aims at rebuilding the lives of the destitute people, helping the underprivileged, providing the medical, educational, and the emotional supports to the needy. She was nominated recently as one of the Navratna for the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan by the award-winning and acclaimed actor Priyanka Chopra. As an actor, she has acted in over 115 films like Beta, Gumrah, Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya, Hum Saath Saath Hai, Page 3, and in the more than 30 television series. Apart from being an actor, she is a singer as well and has released 3 original pop albums. In her event and the production company called Karma and Events Entertainment has participated and organized in over 100 stage shows in India and abroad. She produced and hosted a heart-wrenching talk show called Strivers and Achievers, which celebrated the achievements of the physically and mentally challenged people. She produced, wrote, and acted in the Bhojpuri film called Mati, which was received with great response and won many awards. She joined the Priyanka Chopra's production house, Purple Pebble Pictures. As an associate producer, she led the team of the 3 film units. Ventilator, a Marathi award-winning film, Sarwan, a Punjabi film, and Kairi Raskala, also a Marathi film. During the current lockdown, she has been very active in helping the migrant workers to reach their destination. And under the banner of her NGO, she had distributed to around 500 to 600 families with the essential commodities. So we truly have an eminent and a renowned speaker amongst us today. Without any further delay, I will now invite our respected guest, Advocate Kunickaa Sadanand, to chair the session. Thank you.
Kunika ma'am, can you unmute the video or audio? Actually, we can't hear you.
Sorry, so I'll start again. I'm so sorry. You did not hear anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay. That's why I was wondering why I didn't get a reply. Okay, sorry. I'll start again. So I said, welcome to all. Thank you very much for having me on this webinar. I have earlier attended a seminar in Karnataka, Chembur Karnataka Law College, and I was a speaker there. There were a bright set of lawyers, freshly minted students who were going to be freshly minted lawyers soon. So let's start immediately without too much of a fuss. Um, we all know who are the celebrity lawyers which we've known. Like, for one, the most admired and the most respected is Mahatma Gandhi ji, who is a lawyer. And then there's Hillary Clinton, I know of, Nelson Mandela, Gerard Butler from Hollywood. And in Bollywood, we have, as far as I know, we have John Abraham, who is a qualified lawyer. And I also believe Ashok Kumarji had also studied law. There's no authentication for that, but I know Ashok Kumarji, the great Ashok Kumar, the actor, brother of Kishore Kumar. So which are the celebrities who got into trouble with law, especially from the Indian film industry? Sanjay Dutt, as we all know, the 1993 blast case, he completed his jail sentence. He's out of jail now. Salman Khan, the Black Buck case, an appeal is pending in the higher court against the lower court's judgment. Shiny Ahuja, the rape case, he was given a 7-year jail sentence. A film was also inspired by his case, that's Section 375. Tabu, Neelam, Sonali Bendre, John Abraham, Saif Ali Khan, Govinda. Recently, Shah Rukh Khan had to give a statement that he did not get a sex determination test done for his last born child. Because there was a case that was filed against him. Monica Bedi married Abu Salim. She entered Portugal with false documents and was given a 2.5-year jail sentence. She completed her sentence. I think she was repatriated back to India. Fardeen Khan, he almost went to jail when he was busted while attempting to buy cocaine in 2001. And he was let off after he pleaded guilty and denied any further intentions of dabbling in drugs, and went to a de-addiction center as part of the court order. Navjot Singh Sidhu, the 2006 road rage case, there is a stay on his conviction. Suraj Pancholi, the Jia Khan suicide case, is still being heard and tried. Madhur Bhandarkar case, the casting couch case, where he was granted bail and then walked free on grounds of no available evidence. So a celebrity is a human being, and therefore all human rights of a human being are also the rights that the celebrity enjoys. The right to legal recourse, privacy, security, safety, health, right to livelihood, all the fundamental rights bestowed upon any citizen of India and any human rights bestowed upon a human being are also the rights of a celebrity. Therefore, all the laws which are written to protect citizens or which are written to protect the laws of the country, whatever, all the acts, they all will sometime or the other will probably affect a celebrity, or it will be used for his protection or against him or whatever. Industrial Dispute Act and all these acts I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the human rights and the fundamental rights. And the criminal cases, laws, of course. As per our constitution, we are all equal before the law. Therefore, justice should be done without any partiality or compromising any legalities. And recently, there was a petition in which the Bollywood industry had taken over. I don't like the word Bollywood, but I'm saying it for want of another word. Where they had taken it into the court. It came into the limelight with the Me Too movement. And there was petition, the Me Too movement, we all know that it became a big movement, and it was for the good of the women and their safety. And we all know about the POSH Act. So the POSH Act also applies to celebrities and to people working in the film industry, especially in a producer's office. Anybody who has employed more than 10 people must have an ICC committee. We all know about that. I'm talking about this sexual harassment of women in the workplace, that act, prevention and prohibition. So Me Too movement came into the limelight, and a lot of petitions were filed. But the Me Too movement, the petitions that were filed in court from the film industry, it also the POSH Act or the Sexual Violence Act is married to the Law of Limitation Act. So therefore, there's a certain time limit that you can file a case. and which is why those two cases, I think it was Tanushri Datta and Vintananda, both those cases, I don't think they reached a proper conclusion. Of course, Tanushri Datta is still continuing, and she is still appealed in the courts for against one of the orders. Then there was a petition which was filed with regards to safety on the sets. After the Chowpatty Make in India event organized by the then CM of Maharashtra, it had been argued by Advocate Jamshed Mistry. There was a gentleman called Upendra Channa who made a film, Living on the Edge. I recommend all of you lawyers, budding lawyers, to please see that, and anybody else. It's called Living on the Edge. It was a complete documentary, a very nicely made film by this gentleman Upendra Channa. It was about the safety and the conditions of film workers. And film workers are also essentially daily wage earners. I'm not talking about the stars, but a lot of actors, a lot of junior artists, a lot of art field workers who are working in the art department, technicians, spot boys, they're all daily wage earners. And the kind of conditions and the safety norms that are flouted every day on the sets. So what did the court order in that petition, which was filed? That specifically after that, Make in India event, which happened when there was a whole fire and the states got caught on fire, we would have lost some of the great luminaries of our country, but they were all sitting in the front row. Amitabh Bachchan, Sachin Tendulkar, everybody, and some ministers also. So the court ordered that a committee must be formed by the Labour Department of the Maharashtra government to look into the safety measures and make some standard operating procedures which will be mandatory. As of today, we know that the committee was formed, but what further action is taken, we don't know. Increased use of lawyers in Bollywood, or rather Indian media industry. Again, I'm saying as a lawyer, I would recommend that if you are in court, you don't use the word Bollywood when you go to court or in a petition. Call it Indian media industry, because that encompasses the whole media industry, whether it's digital media, OTT, web platform, everything, music, everything. So the earlier contracts were very simple. When I joined the film industry 33 years ago, it was a simple affair. It was a one-page document. It mentioned the role, the director, the producer, the approximate number of days, the remuneration. This was an actor's document. It was one page. Aap sign karenge, aap agree karenge. It was not an actionable document because it was not on a stamp paper, nor was it registered. And also because the industry was so close-knit that no one really wanted to go to court or pursue any case. One, out of fear of loss of opportunities, because then no producer would ever take you after that. And also nobody wanted to antagonize the whole, it used to be like a family. So there was one-page agreement with the artists and technicians. There was a 1 or 2 page deal with the music company for the music rights. And then there was another 1 or 2 page agreement with distributors, which by default gave away the rights to the distributors. So आपने एक बार picture दे दी distributor को, तो ये समझ लो कि that product doesn't belong to you. There was no mention of IPR, no mention of कि इस percentage of पैसा यहाँ से आएगा, whatever. There was a minimum guarantee, or there was outright sale of the film. None of these would be in perpetuity. It would be 7 years or 11 years. So you could renew your agreement. Generally, when people came to renew, it would be like thoda sa 1-2 lakh rupees और ऊपर दे देते थे, and or depending on what the film cast and all was, and the same producer would get it for another 11 years. And earlier there was no provision for new technologies. It was home viewing, as in VCR or video CD, or theater exhibition. So now the scenario has completely changed. Exhibitors have also become distributors and producers, like PVR, Wave Cinemas, etc. There are a lot of other, theatre owners. Even Audio Ad Labs has become like a producer. Stars that are saleable, they call shots. They take a cut in the distribution. Most of them have become producers. Even some directors, Karan Johar, Anurag Kashyap, Amir Khan, Salman Khan, Akshay Kumar, they are producers. Even actors like Deepika Padukone and Anushka Sharma, they've started producing under their own banners. Recently, Patal Lok has been produced by Anushka Sharma. She produced NH10, and I think Deepika Padukone produced this one on the Acid Attacks. I'm forgetting the name, on Acid Attack, because she was a part of the producers unit. Revenues have increased, avenues for income have increased, web series, television has become a giant. I mean, and the OTT platforms. And now after the COVID situation, OTT platforms are going to become, their viewership has increased so much. And so obviously revenues are going to accrue with all this. Ringtones, they are outdoing the music sales. Earlier, a music sale of a film would generate income of a single distribution territory. So they were considered 6.5 or seven territories in the country, including a small section of the foreign, distribution network. And but now the music sales, there are remix rights, there are so many other, so it is, it's really doubled up, that caller tunes, everything. Foreign distribution has increased, the audience has grown, and even all this, the hype about India, and India, the growing economy and growing country, or growing, a country which is, in the limelight all the time. A lot of foreigners are also seeing our film, because now subtitles have also come in. Then in-flight screening on planes and cruises, that also is a revenue generator. Product endorsements. पहले क्या होता था कि I remember दारा सिंह जी एक आध फिल्म में उन्होंने कुछ घी खाते हुए उनकी कुछ शॉट्स थे, लेकिन उसमें कभी पैसे नहीं मिलते थे प्रोड्यूसर को. तो दारा सिंह जी ने हमारे घी का डब्बा में मतलब के साथ एक शॉट कर लिया, तो it was the owners used to be very happy. The producers used to also say, "Oh, no, I'm showing how Dara Singh ji has made his body," or something like that. Now the producers, actors are very, very cautious about in film, in movie advertising, whatever is done, because they're very careful, because it's their image. First of all, what are they holding in their hand? What are they riding? Which car are they riding? कौन से कपड़े का label दिख रहा है? हमारे पीछे के frame में क्या दिख रहा है? The actors have become very conscious. And if something is there which they can use, or they're using, they will first go to the people who are the manufacturers of that and say, look, we need to use a health drink in our film, in this scene, or we need to use a car in this scene. So we are going to, how much money are you going to give us to put that car? So they get a huge amount of money. There are sometimes song sets which are constructed by just that money. Like it goes into crores. Also, if there's a Shah Rukh Khan or an Amir Khan or a Salman Khan in that car, or using that particular health drink or whatever, then the product owner, the manufacturer of the product, will give more money. There are times when half the budget of the film has been given by that, the money has been given by that product owner. So product endorsements, like, the celebrity will also ask for extra money. If you, he's entitled to it, he or she. If you're using a product, how much money you're getting from this product manufacturer. And generally all the legal documents are shared by the producer, especially if the star is a saleable one, because he has a cut in the revenues which are going to be generated also. So then he will take an extra amount for that as well. And that's, of course, that's negotiable. And then video games, merchandising, clothing and accessories connected to the film. So it can be any kind of, if the film has got something very iconic in it, so they can, they start merchandising. As you know, Salman Khan, he does his own merchandising of his clothes and things like that. And international entities coming in with big bucks and big elaborate contracts. Their contracts are like this thick. They have taught us what is to protect IPR rights, and literally taking it all away for perpetuity. If an international producer entity is a producer, it's Disney, Warner Brothers and all, so they negotiate with the producers who are producing the film. They become a co-producer, or they are a financer, and they will take away the rights for perpetuity. They will give some sharing if necessary, or if the deal is worked out like that. So these contracts are very, very, you have to really go with a fine tooth comb and a magnifying glass when you're making these contracts, because you have to protect every single right of the star or the producer. And saleable stars, obviously, they will negotiate, and if you're not a saleable star, then the producer or the foreign entity will negotiate more. Like Sony, Viacom, Disney, Netflix, they all started becoming producers and financiers. And this, I think, started in 2010 or 11, when the government allowed them to come in and invest into the entertainment industry. DreamWorks, that is Steven Spielberg's company, they also came in with, I think they tied up with Reliance, Anil Ambani's company. So the party selling rights keeps the scope of the contract as narrow as possible, because obviously they're giving their product for sale. The party buying the rights, depending on the production house, cast and director of the film or web series, the negotiations will depend on that. But by and large, it is as broad-based as possible for the party who is buying the rights. as a lawyer, you must break down the rights into details, keeping room for new technologies, inventions, platforms that may develop in the future, which means that you must keep abreast with the new technology, just do your research, connect with the youth. Like in my case, I speak to my child, my kids, and I understand what are the new platforms that are coming up, understand the new inventions, how it will affect your potential clientele. So just touching upon some of the clauses that can come into the the agreement that you're making. So there's an availability clause. So this is a new thing which has come up in the last decade. The film gets made or not, the star gets paid for his time, his or her time. Obviously, the star has to be saleable, has to be a person who's a big box office draw. Then there's a completion bond. So I'm just giving you 2-3 of the specifics which must be there in the contracts. So the classic example of the completion bond is, I remember a film called Cash. Sohail Maklai was the producer, and Ad Labs was the one who was a co-producer. And finally, Ad Labs took over that film and completed the film and released it, because Sohail Maklai did not, he didn't live up to the completion bond that he had signed. So he didn't complete the film in the right time. Then Prerna Arora's film Parmanu, the story of Pokhran, which later John Abraham took over. He was reprimanded, of course, by the court for not mentioning Kriarj's name. Kriarj, Kriarj, is the company of Prerna Arora. He didn't mention the name of that company, and though they had put in some money into it, they had defaulted in their payments. And he announced the date of the release, and then, of course, the court reprimanded him. Zeet Studios was one of the producers. They continued to be the producer. And then finally, the film was released by Zee Studios and Vashu Bhagnani, Pooja Films. So the court instructed that Kriaraj Films has to show their commitment and invest 10 crores in the P&A if they really want their name to be on the producers, the names of the producer on the poster or in the film. And I think later on they issued a joint statement and they sorted out. I think they probably gave back the money to Priyaraj, which was invested. I'm not sure. It was an internal deal, but they drew their case. Trademark protection. So Ram Gopal Verma versus Ramesh Sippy for the title Sholay. We all remember that he announced the film, I'm going to make Sholay Part 2. Ramesh Sippy went to the court and said, Sholay is my trademark. I have created it. So Ram Gopal Verma had to change the name from Sholay to Ram Gopal Verma Ki Aag. Therefore, entertainment lawyers need to keep abreast of the trademark acts, IPR acts, monopolies, trade practices, protection of privacy, cyber acts, cyberbullying, trolling, abusing, impersonating. I mean, everything. You need to really be. You cannot be a Cueca Mendak. You have to really read up on all these things. All these are going to affect the celebrity who's your client or the production house, and because there's a lot of media has a lot of goodwill. I mean, it carries a lot of goodwill because people, as I said, the goodwill equity jo hota hai, because if there's a name, say Amir Khan ka naam hai, so Amir Khan's name will carry a lot of goodwill and equity, and that cannot be misused. Then international format shows, so like Big Boss, KBC, Biggest Loser Jeetega, the dance shows, the talent shows, all these were new entrants from foreign shows. For the DTH content, that's direct to home content. Companies like Endemol, Warner Brothers, Walt Disney, again, Fox, DreamWorks, they all came in, foreign entities that came into India, and they had this big format which they sold to the Indian producers, and the Indian producer like Siddharth Basu, who produced KBC. So they buy that format. There's a certain equity that they share. I mean, they share the revenues because of that format. They also give when they buy the format, it's like, when you're buying a franchise, it's like that. So there again, the contracts have to be very, very tightly made and, really detailed out. Most important interesting clause, which must be incorporated to protect the Indian counterpart, is what happens if the format doesn't work in India. So what happens? I do a KBC. I put up a big set. I bought the franchise of the name of KBC, the Kaun Banega Crorepati ka concept. I bought it. And then it doesn't work. So if it doesn't work, then who pays for that? That set that has been invested and everything. Say after 6 episodes, the channel decides it's not getting TRPs. So that has to really be worked out, because that's a huge expense and also a loss of goodwill, not only finance, but also a loss of goodwill. So you need to do a lot of brainstorming with your client and understand, don't just the contract and give it. You must understand what goes into it, whether how much the set is going to cost, what is the actor, the host, what is he going to charge, what is the kind of the money that will you will have to pay him or her when if the concept doesn't work, what is his conditions. So everything has to be worked out in detail. Then please remember, you can't cut and paste Hollywood contracts into Bollywood format. Hollywood contracts are too elaborate and verbose. The Indian media industry contracts legalese needs to be toned down, more simpler and comprehensible. Because the most important is in our country, our actors, or every human being in our country actually gets scared of the court. They get scared of legal documents. So if you give them a thick document, they'll immediately shun it away, especially if it's a celebrity. He doesn't want to, because they don't have the patience to read through the fine words. So you have to really be an advisor. And unlike a corporate lawyer, I mean, a celebrity lawyer needs to handle the celebrity like a family doctor. Also remember, the celebrity might not pay up on time, so you'll have to work that out with them. So because this is the general thing in our film industry, we have a problem. हम लोगों के जेब से पैसे मुश्किल से निकलते हैं. At least when we give somebody a job to do, we start haggling. पहले तो हम उनको appoint कर लेंगे, बाद में बोलेंगे क्या इसमें क्या काम था, so this kind of thing. So as a professional lawyer, you must be careful that you make your commitment deal very clear, your remuneration very clear, and you also that the installments or when the money is due to you, make it very clear. Now there are other problems for celebrities are coming from the digital and internet world, like cyber squatting. What is cyber squatting? It is somebody goes and registers his name of a celebrity. So I know that this celebrity, say Alifia F. Alia F. Sorry, Alia F. It's just done a film, and Saif Ali Khan movie, which is Pooja Bedi's daughter. She does a film, and when the film is being made or is under production, some guys who think they're very smart, they will go and register a domain name in her name. So nowadays, celebrities have become very intelligent. They have started registering their own domain name in good time, before anything happens. Even models, they register their own domain name. So what do people do? They register a domain name to encash on it later. So they misuse and impersonate that actor, and they say, I am the, people think, this Facebook page or this Instagram profile is the celebrity, and then they start impersonating. There was a similar case like this where somebody had impersonated Mahesh Bhatt, and he had started asking people to give money for roles. And then he was finally caught somewhere in Madhya Pradesh. That boy was there, and of course Mahesh Bhatt let him off, and he said he warned him, and he was very scared. He was a normal अदना सा बच्चा, but दिमाग आजकल बच्चों का बहुत चलता है, तो ऐसा होता है, impersonating, misuse, trading on the goodwill and the reputation. So all these things are also things you have to protect your celebrity clientele from. And there's no legal recourse to this because the Trademark Act doesn't touch this. But there is like the Uniform Resource Location, which is the URL. Every resource has one. Domain names are part of this address. Domain name system maps names to a series of a number on the IP address. These numbers are then linked to with an easily read and remembered address domain name. This is a little bit of gyan I'm giving you about domain names. Learn more about this. Advise your client accordingly. There are huge revenues that can be accrued through such domain names, YouTube channels, the recent TikTok, and that blue tick. So if you are the celebrity and you are lucky that you have the domain name in your name and you have your accounts in your name, nobody else has been squatting on it, and you have it, or you already registered it well in advance, then you will get that blue tick. And celebrities, trust me, die for that blue tick. Some people have started even cutting and pasting that blue tick on their profiles. So, and it gives more credibility, because people, when they see a blue tick of a celebrity's against a celebrity's name, they feel like it's a genuine account, and then more followers come. And more followers means more visual visibility, and then more visibility means more credibility. More credibility means earn revenues from their credibility. Nowadays, influencers are making a lot of money, all the social influencers. As far as India is concerned, there's no legislation, as I said, which specifically or explicitly refers to dispute resolution of this kind, not even Trademarks Act 1999. Bad faith registration. These disputes are somewhat resolved using UDRP, that is Uniform Domain Name Resolution Policy, through ICANN, Internet Corporation of Assigned Names and Numbers. So that is the only recourse that you have if something like this happens. But you must be ready to, make a complaint if there's any kind of cyber stalking, cyber bullying, impersonating, domain squatting, and the police can help you with that. And of course, you can get resolved on these platforms. Now, what are the problems plaguing the industry? We come to the main moot point here. The world has changed for everybody. After COVID, the film and the media industry, though it is a great revenue for state and center, and the actors and producers are always available. They're standing by the country in every crisis. Even recently, we saw Sonu Sood. I mean, he was doing the job which a home minister should be doing, what the government should be doing. But I mean, it was incredible. They are the invisible India. The media industry is the invisible India. And when a crisis comes, the Bharat takes over. And this invisible India is totally forgotten. But we forget that there's a little Bharat of technicians, spot boys, carpenters, daily wage earners, who are a huge part of this industry. And stimulus packages never mention them as beneficiaries. Their safety and security is not even discussed in the parliament or assembly. They are a dispensable lot in the time of a national crisis. As entertainment is, of course, the least of the priorities when there's a crisis in the country. So industry status, we do have a partial industry status of some sort. I think it also came because of the foreign entities that came in. They needed some kind of protection. So some kind of semblance of an industry status started. We pay taxes, GST, entertainment tax. But producers are not ready, or rather there's an aversion for getting into labor laws, payment of royalties, because there's a lot of paperwork. And the dynamics of a film production unit, it's not like you hire somebody and for 5 years the person is on the film is made and that person is gone. I mean, then there's another film being made and there's a new set of crew. So producers don't want to get into that paperwork and jhanjat nature, because as it is, it's a very stressful environment and an unsure and insecure environment. So the states can take a step forward, and they can put out a notification and include film and media industry as an industry by making the amendments in the Industrial Dispute Act. It can be done at the state level. But will that suffice? Will all the benefits be given to the workers, like gratuities, provident fund, insurance, etc.? Now films are being insured, and this also came in with the foreign entities that came into the film industry. Earlier, just a few producers used to insure their films and their unit. So the point is are the producers ready to fight for this? Is the film industry ready to fight for this industry status? Also, is there a proper redressal mechanism if this happens? Most contracts are one-sided. There is a hire and fire policy. It functions like an unorganized sector on the face of it. But in reality, it has to be organized, because if it's not organized, we cannot churn out films the way we do. Or we cannot churn out television series. It's very organized. But a lot of similarities of an unorganized sector where there's, as I said, no safety, no security, no gratuity, no provident fund. And there is government apathy. Some people from the industry have to fully focus on this to chase it, collaborate with various ministries, and have to put this forward in the parliament and explain to the ministers, whoever the labor minister, whoever is concerned, that these are the things that we would like, the broad aspect of this. And that's it. I'm taking 5 more minutes. I know it's been 35 minutes I've been talking. So now the other issues that are affecting the film industry is the force majeure. Does the force majeure come into play if there's a contract being has been drawn out before the COVID situation, and the artist has been tied down, or the producer has taken some money from somebody on loan or interest? So does he get a moratorium? Because it's a film industry, and there's hardly any paperwork. Of course, nowadays people do paperwork. So let me tell you, I've recently attended a webinar by Justice Gautam Patel, and he said force majeure will come into action with this, because force majeure is it's an act of God, and this is exactly what's happened. It's an act of God. The people will dispute and say it's an act of China, but that's still debatable. The other issue that we have in the film industry, which you've seen recently, people are committing suicides, is because the television industry functions on a 90-day payment. So if I do a film, or if I shoot for a television series in, say, January, I will not get my payment until 1st of April. So 90 days, January full month, February full month, and March full month. And because February has 2-3 days less, so first week of April, I'll get my payment. So now what has happened with the lockdown? As it is, for 2 months, people have not been working. In fact, the film industry shut down a little earlier before the nation lockdown around the 16th or 17th of March. So shooting stopped. Shooting stopped means the churning of the revenue stops. So the 90 days payments some producers are paying, but because some of the producers are not getting money from the channels, because the channels are not getting money from the advertisers. Though if you see, the television revenues should have increased because everybody's sitting at home, they're watching TV. But new episodes are not coming. The old episodes are being circulated. So obviously, the advertisers are negotiating new rates for advertising. So this is a very vicious circle, and these are the things we need to fight for. This 90-day payment, that the producer should get the money in time, the advertiser should pay the channel should let the money come in time. All these. Then the other thing is the post-COVID shooting conditions. We don't know what is going to happen, because the other day there was a meeting with the Federation and the IFDA. I think JD Majidhia was attending that meeting, and the ministers were there. And they said, you must have a 6 feet distance, the makeup man, and you must do this. You can't do makeup from 6 feet. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, you can wear masks, you can have sanitization, but you can also tell people not to be sitting together and chatting. Like हमारे फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में ऐसा अक्सर होता है कि एक शूटिंग अंदर चलती है और बाहर एक मीटिंग चलती है, और मीटिंग में 15-20 लोग गप्पे मार रहे हैं, because obviously the art department, when the shot is taken, is not required to be there once the shooting starts. They require to be around on the set, but not necessarily on the floor of the set shooting. Then, so post-COVID, what are the shooting conditions? Then the theatrical releases. We are looking at this. We don't know when the theaters are going to open. When are people really going to start coming to the theaters? Because there's so much fear. So when they start coming, then ek do case ho jayenge. Yeah, there will be somebody will say, report a COVID case, and then they'll say, again, shut it down. So film producers, what I can see, or what I can see now, is that there will be a lot of web series made, but again, only once the shootings are allowed and once all the SOPs are put into place. Lastly, I'd like to say that I would like to add that each one of you budding lawyers, you need to see where and how you can make a difference in the lives of this huge workforce. It toils with some terrible conditions, without any security and safety. And the minute the country is in a crisis, they're always there to stand up and help, especially celebrities, producers, people put money. Our organizations like Cinta and FWIC are struggling to help people. They are doing their bit, but we really have no safety and security as a media industry. And you all need to, as lawyers, think, what is it that you can do to help our, this lot that toils and works so hard. So with that, I'm ready for the questions. And if anybody has anything to say, I'll also check the chat. And sir, please help me with the chat.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your word of wisdom. Now, I would like to invite Professor Nachikeet sir to lead the question answer session. Nachikeet sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Kunickaa ma'am, for your lively session.
Thank you.
So I'll be asking a question, and ma'am, you will answer it. After which I'll ask the next question.
Okay.
So the first question is by Naveen Kapoor. He's asking, are there any laws to protect low-earning groups like spot boys and extras who are unemployed during this period and need funds to run their families?
No, unfortunately, there are no laws. Just like the daily wage earner, but the daily wage earner, if he's a part of an industry, in the sense it's a production, a manufacturing unit, then there are some labor laws that can give them some support, or they can fight for them. But that's all afterwards. Immediately, there's no such law. And in our film industry, there are producers who have regular spot boys who work with them, or if there is a production which is going on, then they have distributed food and rations to them, but there's no law to protect them.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. The next question is by Jagruti Shah. She is asking, due to uncertainty and scarcity of resources during these unprecedented times, do you envisage increase in nepotism in entertainment industry post-COVID?
As I said, that there will be a lot of conditions which will be laid down by the ministry and the government, and of social distancing, sanitizing. They have given us some conditions, but those are not acceptable. And let's see, but we have to start functioning. I mean, we have to start making films. We have to start making, because it's a huge force that needs work and employment. And also entertainment is important, because we all know that we look forward and we love our Bollywood or our television or our web series. So we have to start somewhere. And there is going to be, and we all are going to, we're going to evolve in this. And I really feel that COVID is here to stay. We need to start learning to live with it. The question we must ask the government, or is that आप हमसे सब कुछ करने को कह रहे हैं, लेकिन आपने अभी तक public hospitals या public health या safety and security का क्या किया है? But anyway, that's for another day. So there will be a post. I'm very positive that there will be a post-COVID, production.
Yeah. Okay. So the next question is by Rahil Jain. He's asking, recently Anushka Sharma had received a legal notice for the riveting web series Patalo. Can you please give your thoughts on this?
So there was a scene where the woman is the police officer, or the police constable is beating up this person and calling this this character a Nepali sex worker, but in Hindi language. So you cannot say that, you cannot put a community or a sort of with the word like that. So that was a legal notice, and I think that they're going to mute that, I think.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. The next question is by Manoj Shah. His question is, what would be the impact on technicians who are working on contract basis and left Maharashtra and went to North India? Will they be able to resume in the film industry in future dates?
Of course, they will be able to resume when they come back. But the point is that if they are bound by a contract, they're not generally bound by a contract with the producer. So there is a producer who hires an art department person, or there's a producer who will hire the camera department, the head of the camera department, and they will subcontract with these people. So there's nothing as contracts with the daily wage earners, in the sense that the guys, the carpenters and all, they're not on a contract, but the art director is on an agreement or a contract with the producer, and he will come back to work. Though if he is not able to, if he also has gone to his village, then, as I said, force majeure will come into the, and you cannot, nobody generally penalizes somebody. They will take another art director, or they will, ऐसा film industry में कम होता है, because it's, as I said, we function more like a family. But yes, if there is a cinematographer and the cinematographer shot half the film, then as per contract he has to come back. But obviously there will be an adjustment if he's in his village, whether he can come, if he's okay, whatever. All those things are always discussed.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. The next question is a very experiential question, which is related to your own experience. So it's by Upasna Singh. She's asking, as a social worker, what challenges did you face during the current times of COVID?
So as a social worker from my NGO CHIP, we changed our strategy. We were working with BMC schools in education. We realized that at this point of time, we need to work with families for relief and, give them some emotional, physical and financial help. So we don't distribute money, but we started giving rations. Zomato Feeding India campaign tied up with us. Then the TCS, that is Tata Communications, they are our regular supporters and CSR partners. So they gave us money. So we were able to distribute rations to people. Fortunately, because we've been working in the BMC schools for 15 years, so BMC gave us their schools to distribute the rations. We had some conditions. We already made a list of all the children who are studying in the schools. We spoke to them. We told them we're going to distribute rations. You have to come. And so it was a very organized way. It was not कि हम road पे खड़े होकर ration बांट रहे. So, which was a good thing. But the sad part is that we can only give you 1 month ration. What happened after that? Our PDS system is the public distribution system, really needs to be amped up. And it really needs to be, it doesn't help the ration shops. I know as a social worker, and they're telling me that, Madam, ration hi nahi aa raha hai. So, and not only in Maharashtra, it's happening in Delhi, it's happening in a lot of states also. So our granaries are full to eat. If you don't eat, your immunity doesn't go. So there are a lot and when you're with, and you have rations for like 500 families, and then there's 700 families who have to be catered to, and you can't, and that's very, very overwhelming. I have sleepless nights because of that. When I come back from a distribution session, I come back and I feel very, very heavy and bogged down, because you can't help everybody. So that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Also, I'd like to say one more thing
Yeah.
regarding the
ma'am.
train situation, the migrant workers. So I did do some work with helping about nearly 200 migrant workers on different days and different trains. So it's very sad that in the politics of all this, people are suffering. So the system is that the DCP of the zones, they make a list, they get a list from the police stations, they make a list, get that list, and they send it to the CP of Mumbai, then CP of Maharashtra then sends it to the collector of that state, so it's Bihar or UP. And unfortunately, the states have not been accepting to take these migrant workers. And now, after so long, finally the Supreme Court has intervened and said, that you are responsible. I wish it had done it earlier. It happened after the High Court started intervening and giving orders. So this is very sad that we are all the time doing politics, all the time. We just don't get over it. I don't know why.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, the next question is actually asked by many people, so this is a common question. So nowadays, there's a shift of paradigm from the theater to online mode. So will this be the end of an era for theater industry,
No.
or will it be able to rise again?
No, film industry and the film watching content on a big screen is a different experience. In fact, I feel when the fear psychosis dies down, there are going to be more people coming to the theater, because you can't be cooped up in your house. And our Indian film industry, Indian media is a huge part of our character, national character. We all love to see film. We love to go and have our popcorn, love to take our children, because that's our source of entertainment. We don't have huge, great national parks or sanctuaries where we can go, because half of them are not even kept in proper conditions. So films are a great outlet and people are going to watch. Yes, there is a problem that some of the actors who charge huge amounts of money, and they will have to reduce their money, their fees, they will have to reduce, a lot of their negotiations will now have to be tapered down, and then only films can be produced.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, you can tell me to stop whenever you want, because there are a lot of questions.
I'm there with you all forever.
Okay. So the next question is by Clayton. He's asking, in recent times, there have been huge donations and contributions by celebrities towards PM Fund and other funds. But this is done by the stars. But is it done by the stars solely to help, or just add up to the goodwill? As I believe, donations or contributions can be made anonymously, or even without disclosing the amounts made.
That's a very tricky question. But yes, every government that comes in, they have. They're either for the government. People are there who are for the government, who are, as they call it nowadays, right wing and left wing. I don't like to use these terms, but there are citizens who are for the government, and there are citizens who are against the current dispensation. So there are always favorites. Every citizen will have their favorite. Governments will also have their favorite actors. And it does, sometimes it is also शोशाबाजी, मतलब कि मैंने दे दिया पैसा, अब किसने दिया, कितना दिया. कभी कभी तो मैंने ऐसा भी सुना है, and it's of course hearsay, that money has been given to the person and said कि आप अपने बैंक से ट्रांसफर करो और ये कैश ले लो. तो ऐसा भी हुआ है. So ये सब unfortunately हमारा national character थोड़ा सा ना धीरे धीरे dissipate हो रहा है, and that's a sad thing. So ऐसा भी होता है, but there are genuine people also who have donated to the PM fund, to the CM fund, and who genuinely give their money. Like as I mentioned, Sonu Sood, उनको क्या जरूरत थी ये करने की, लेकिन उन्होंने किया. So the people have gone out, and you won't believe it. There was the first lot of migrant laborers when I was sending them on the train. I was so stressed out because they had to reach. It was such last minute. एक तो जल्दी जल्दी भागो, उधर बस भी नहीं था. उसके बाद से they started giving buses from the police station, and I was trying to get them into. So there was into autos or something, trying to call a tempo because they had to reach another police station. And there was a guy who just passed, and he stopped the car in a blue car. I don't even know his name. I don't know who he is. And he says, "Kunickaa ma'am, you need something." So obviously he knew me by face and my name. And then I said, "No, I don't need. Can you take these people to the police station? The Juhu police station. They have to go there." He said, "No, but I can give them food." You won't believe it. In his trunk of his car, he had like some more than 1,000 packets of khichdi, and I gave each one of these people, this 75 people who were leaving on that train, I gave each of them three packets of khichdi. And when they reached their village, they called me and said, Didi, humne wahi khaya, humko kuch bhi nahi mila. So there are good people, and that's why our country still survives. That's why Mumbai especially is great. So people are doing genuine work also.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is by Gopal. He's asking, what is the status or scenario of laws relating to dummy weapons? Recently, some controversy came in light. He's saying.
Dummy weapons.
Yes, ma'am.
What I don't know if the controversy, but yes, you are supposed to use dummy weapons for the rehearsal, and if you're using an original weapon, then the person who's we call them the gunmen, you know, the people who come with the weapons. They have the license for that weapon, and generally you have to supposed to inform the production house supposed to inform this is the action scene, but they don't use real weapons generally. Nobody uses. They use dummies for like jo piche ka jo, supposing it's a film like Padmavat or somewhere where they're using people, or you know, Khilji's army. They're all holding dummies, and there's a certain wiring that the gunner does, the person who brings the guns and weapons, and that it's like a blast. It's a small little blast that they do, and so it's basically two, you know, you touch two conduits together, how you make a blast happen. But I doubt whether anybody uses real guns. It's not allowed actually.
Okay. This question is, I cannot see the name, SM Jain it is. So the question is, have you not seen any politicians going down to streets and helping the migrants and even donating money except Gautam Gambhir?
Yes, that's really sad. And I just
Yeah.
hope that our country and our people in our country, we have very short memories. And you know, the sad part is I really wish COVID had come when the elections were around the corner. Things would have been different. And I used to be in politics at one time, and I gave up because I was completely disillusioned. And I'm really waiting for the day. I hope before I die, I see a change happen. And I hope the people remember this. And I'm not talking about any particular government. Every government of every state has faltered somewhere. We have failed our people. We have failed our people big time, and people should remember. And you know, it is. I mean, I'm an emotional person, so I really feel that curse that we are going to get from all these people who are suffering is not going to go away easily. And I have not seen politicians on the road. They are so scared. The most important thing is I recently read that they're asking us the schools to open. They're asking the parents to send the children to schools. अरे भाई आप पहले पार्लियामेंट में तो जाओ, आप पहले हमको पार्लियामेंट में जाके दिखाओ कि आप लोग पार्लियामेंट में बैठ सकते हो कि नहीं, हम अपने बच्चों को स्कूल में क्यों भेजें. So this is what people have to lead by example, and unfortunately a lot of our leaders are really pygmies, they're not giants, they're pygmies, and they want to lead us, and we forget at the right time, and then some propaganda will come up and we will elect them again. So that's unfortunate.
Thank you, ma'am. The last question. This question is by Omkar Rane. He's asking, due to the lockdown, most of the actors have started facing financial crisis, resulting into some taking extreme steps. So are there any discussions around assisting them,
Yes.
and are there any legal remedies available to them?
So legal remedies, we have CINTA, which is the Cine Artists, Television and Film Artists Association. We have FWICE, which is the Federation of 22 crafts of the film industry, film and media industry, and there's an umbrella of that. And so there are people are pursuing with the producers कि भाई हमें पैसे दे दो, producers भी तो suffer कर रहे हैं. So they are pursuing that. But as far as the other measures, there are counseling sessions which CINTA is holding. There are webinars that they're doing. They have helpline numbers. I really wish that the government would give CINTA a helpline number like 181, जैसे women helpline है, वैसे they should give for the film actors and film fraternity people. But I guess at this moment, as I said, that entertainment is not the priority. Everybody is suffering and the government has their hands full. So that is there, yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Answers were more than satisfactory. Thank you so much. So now I'll hand over the session to Sandeep sir again. Okay. So over to you, Sandeep sir.
Nachiket, I just wanted to say, Sandeep sir, are there any questions in the chat which have come up?
Yes, ma'am. I've asked some questions. I've asked the questions from the chats only.
Okay, great.
Thank you, ma'am.
Again,
I hope you enjoyed the session. Did you all get any insights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Sandeep sir, thank you. Sorry.
Again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful session. Now, I would like to call Ritesh to deliver the vote of thanks. Ritesh.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Dalai Lama once quoted, "The roots of all good life, soil of appreciation and encouragement." Unquote. I'm honored to have this opportunity to deliver a vote of thanks on this special event on behalf of the entire CL family. I warmly thank and appreciate our today's guest, Advocate Kunickaa Sadanand, for giving us valuable time in sharing such I deeply thank her for answering. I take opportunity to sincerely thank our principal, Dr. Deepak, principal, our professor in charge, Dr. Priya Prabhu, for the efforts and encouragement. I thank Professor Nachiket Kure for the questionnaire session. I also thank from various law institutes of the webinar for the kind cooperation and being such a wonderful audience. Last but not least, I wish to extend my gratitude to our entire family to make this event a grand success. Thank you. Here, I request all of you to kindly stand attention for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल वंदा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you so much for joining this session.
Thank you very much. Can I leave now?
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you so much,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.